Tim from Music Box Lessons. We are going to be doing a series of guitar videos for you folks on YouTube to check out and try to learn some stuff. We are going to be starting from the very beginning. This is the first video of the series, and it's going to be very beginner stuff, like the parts of the guitar. We're going to cover the parts of the guitar and the guitar strings and the names and how to name them today. So if that is something you are completely comfortable with, please move on to later videos, or wait for the next videos to come out, and we'll get right into the playing in the next set. But this one's going to be mostly informational. You know, thanks for checking out the video, and yeah, if you're one of those people, then you can turn off the video now and go over to another one. If you don't know anything about guitar, welcome. I think you're going to enjoy guitar, so let's talk a little bit about what we're dealing with here. So there's two main types of guitar you're going to run across. Alright, this is an electric guitar. Alright, it's a solid body electric. What that means is that this piece of wood right here is solid. This is all solid wood. The other type of main guitar, the other main type of guitar you're going to come across is an acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitars are the bigger guitars with the hole in the front here, and it gets its sound in a different way. So that's an acoustic guitar. This is an electric guitar. Let's talk about the parts of the guitar. And acoustic and electric basically work the same way. Alright, it's just like a person. We have this part right here, which we call the body of the guitar. Alright, we have this part of the guitar, alright, which we call the neck of the guitar. And we have this part of the guitar right here, which we call the headstock of the guitar, or the head of the guitar. Alright, for the parts, okay, what they essentially do, everyone has a different purpose. The body of the guitar houses most of the electrical stuff. It's kind of where the sound comes from. Alright, you've got your on an acoustic guitar, it's just hollow, and the sound, the strings vibrate top. It starts resonating inside of the guitar, bounces around in there, and it basically comes out and it amplifies the sound on its own. With an electric guitar, you usually have to plug it into an amplifier. So you're kind of getting that. If I was to turn the volume down on this guitar and play it, it's very quiet without being plugged into an amplifier. So on the body of the guitar, you've got several major features. This one is the first one I want to talk about. Okay, this piece right here, this silver piece, is called the bridge of the guitar. Okay, now what this does is all the strings run down and they go over this, and this is adjustable in terms of how high, how far away from the face of the guitar, or how close to the face of the guitar it is. And that controls how low or high the strings are. Alright, and we call that the action of the guitar. Alright, so that's the first part. Next part is these things right here. Okay, these are called the pickups of the guitar. Alright, they look different on different guitars. This is what's called a Les Paul. This is a Les Paul, but this is a single cutaway Les Paul style guitar. You'll also run into Stratocaster style guitars, which is the other major type you're going to see. For electrics anyways. And what the pickups are is they're basically kind of like microphones stuck in the body of the guitar. They're what picks up your sound and puts it through the electronics and sends it out to the amplifier, okay? And there's different ones. This one has two, alright? We call this one right here the neck pickup because it's closer to the neck of the guitar, alright? And we call this one the bridge pickup because it's closer to the bridge of the guitar. Makes sense? In regards to the pickups, alright, we have a pickup selector, which is this piece right here. Now on a lot of Stratocaster guitars, you'll see that down here. It's like a blade switch. You basically, it goes from side to side. This one kind of goes from top to bottom, okay? The way it works is it selects which one of these we're using, or what combination of pickups we're using, because different pickups give you different types of sound. This one just has three options. You have this one far down, which in this guitar makes it so this pickup is on, the bridge pickup. You have a middle position, which is giving you both pickups at the same time. And then you have a neck position, which is giving you, or sorry, they call it a rhythm position on this, which is just giving you the neck pickup. Okay? So in general, that's what you're going to find on single cutaway Les Paul style guitars. Like I said, Strat style guitars are a little different. It's usually down here. This guitar has some controls down here. This basically has a volume and tone and whatnot for the guitar. These are the two volumes for the two different pickups, and then these are the tones for the two different pickups. Strats, again, are a little different. Usually you have one volume and then two tone knobs underneath it. So that basically covers the body of the guitar. Alright, this right here is just a pick guard for the guitar. It basically just keeps it so my pick doesn't scratch the top. Really, it's not that necessary, but it's more of a stylistic thing than anything else. Alright, so on to the neck of the guitar. Neck of the guitar is where we select what notes we're playing on the guitar. Alright, and the way we do that is by pushing our finger down onto a string in a certain spot here, and it gives us a different note. So if I just play this string right here, if I just play this string right here by itself, it gives me one note. If I then push my finger down on that same string somewhere else, it gives me a different note. Okay? And the higher I go this way, all right, the higher the note goes, the higher the pitch goes on that note. So the neck is basically made up of two pieces of wood usually. You have the piece of wood that the back of the neck is made up of, all right, which is usually the same as the headstock. It's a light, on this guitar it's a lighter wood. And then they have a piece of wood that they lay across the top of it called the fingerboard. On this guitar, obviously it's a dark piece of wood. It's actually called rosewood. Sometimes you'll run into a lighter piece of wood, but it is usually two distinct pieces of wood. In the fingerboard, they lay these pieces of metal right here. You've got these kind of strips of metal, okay? We call that fret wire, and we call those frets, okay? Now this is where things get a little weird. So not only is these metal bars called frets, but the space in between the fret wire we also call frets. So for example, the space between this white thing, which we'll talk about in a second, and this first bar right here, we call that space in there the first fret. This is the second fret, this is the third fret, etc. Okay? And what fret you play is what dictates what the note is. Alright? And let's get to the last thing, this white piece that I talked about a second ago. This is called the nut of the guitar. Okay? And that controls the spacing of the strings, how far apart from each other they are. Okay, so these two pieces, kind of the bridge down here and the nut up here, kind of work in conjunction with each other to adjust how the guitar plays. All right, this one adjusts the action of the guitar, so that's the distance you have to push down on the string to get it to make a sound. And the nut controls how wide the strings are apart. And you want them to typically be pretty even. To make it comfortable to play. You can't have them be uneven distances apart, or else your fingers would have a very hard time adjusting. So, on to the headstock of the guitar. The headstock guitar has one major part, all right, one major thing it does, and that is it houses the tuning machines, all right, or tuning pegs, all right. That's what these are. These three right here, and then it has three on the bottom too. Stratocaster guitars have Stratocaster guitars, not Stratocaster, have six that go in a line across. Okay, so this is called a 3-in-3 design, and then the ones Stratocaster style and Telecasters have 6 in line. Okay, and what these do is basically I turn these and it adjusts the pitch of the string, so I can tune the guitar, and that's something you typically have to do every time you play the guitar. Guitars are not like pianos and some other instruments where they'll stay in tune for a while. You have to basically tune these pretty much every time you take it out. It'll just be a tiny bit out. And that's kind of a hard thing, and we'll talk about how to do that in a later lesson. For right now, if you have a teacher, which I hope you do, they can help you out with that. If not, at the beginning of every video, I'll play each individual string, and you can tune to those that way. All right, just by ear. So let's talk about the strings now. So the strings of the guitar are referred to in two different ways. All right. Sometimes they're referred to by number, and sometimes they're referred to by name. All right. The number system basically works like this. We call this string the thinnest string, the furthest one away from you, is the first string. All right. This is the second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, sixth string, all the way across. Pretty self-explanatory. That makes sense. The way I usually refer to them is by the name of the string, all right, which has to do with what note comes out when I pluck the string open. All right, when I just play the string open, it gives me a certain pitch, and that pitch is what we name the string after. All right, this is the E string, this is the B string, this is the G string, this is the D string, this is the A string, and this is the low E string. Now I call this the low E string because there's two E's. Okay, and we call this one, the thicker one, is the low E, And the high one, this one right here, the one that's closer to the floor, we call the high string, the high E. So it's a little weird how that works. It's kind of counterintuitive a little bit because the ceiling's up there, the floor's down there. This technically is the lower one, isn't it? And this one's technically the higher one. But we call this the low one and this one the high one because of the pitch of the note that comes out. This is a much lower note than this one. Hence the fact we call this the low E and that the high E. There's a couple different ways you can remember that, all right? There's two memory devices I've seen used. One very popular one is starting from the thin string to the thick string. It goes, Easter bunnies get depressed after Easter. All right, so that's one. Another one you can do is every angry dog growls before eating. Okay, so obviously the first letter of each word represents the name of the string. So every, E, angry, A, dog, D, so on. If you need me to explain that to you, then these videos might not be for you. That's pretty much how that works. So there's two different directions, and you can basically make up your own. There's probably 10 million of these things. Those are the two that I typically hear. You know, feel free to use whatever device you want to use. So that basically wraps up the first lesson. Like I said, the next lesson we're going to get into some playing, this was just an informational video to make sure we were kind of working off the same language when we talk about different parts of the guitar and the strings. So I hope you've learned something and you've enjoyed, you know, thanks for checking out the video. Again, make sure to like and subscribe, and you'll get notices whenever we put out new videos. We're going to be putting these out over the course of the year, I'd imagine. At the current rate of me putting out videos, maybe we'll do the second video sometime in 2015 or whatever. It's taking me forever to do these. And pardon me if I say a lot. I'm not used to the whole camera thing yet, but I'm working on it. So if you have any requests or any questions, please you know, make a comment below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. You can also email me at the store. The website is musicboxlessons.com, so feel free to come by and check that out. We're basically a music lesson store in Wrentham, Massachusetts, and we do repairs and we sell stuff in the store also. We sell guitars. Our main focus is definitely lessons. So if you're in the area, come on down and check us out. If you're not in the area, go online and check us out. And yeah, I hope you've liked this and you've learned something. And thanks for playing, and we'll see you soon.